will say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. We thank you all once again for the opportunity to co-create this interaction with you in this way. For us, it is always a gift of sharing that also creates a bridge and a link between our respective realities and forms, through that link, a new third reality in which we can, every day, more and more, in every way, become closer and closer and closer. We wish to extend our thanks to you for this gift of sharing, to all that are participating in this. Whether you are physically present within the room does not matter, for the room shall expand to include you all, even if it stretches to include and encompass the entirety of your planet. Allow yourselves the opportunity to know that vibrationally you are here with us in all the ways that matter. We would thus then like to begin this issue of a matter of faith and reminding you that we are exploring together the idea of going beyond faith into knowingness, which is a far more powerful state, without in any way, shape, or form diminishing how faith may have served you in the past. We simply wish to point out and illuminate and illustrate the idea that when you gain clear understanding of the nature of existence, the structure of existence, how it exists, how it works, then that knowingness will supersede faith or the need for faith, wherein the concept of faith still implies, by definition, that you are not quite certain about how your reality shall manifest, about where you may be going, whereas knowingness will allow you to experience a degree of certainty, a degree of confidence that faith does not contain. Faith, as we have said, still being based on the idea of belief, so that your belief system can provide you with an opportunity to see more clearly to the point where your beliefs are no longer necessary. You can leave them behind and operate simply, in many circumstances in life, on pure knowingness, pure understanding. Now, we understand also that there are many different definitions of how you may use some of these terms, so we wish to clarify, before we begin going into deeper detail, what we actually mean by some of these terms. When we talk about the idea of knowing, we do not necessarily mean that you will know more about things, about stuff, as you say. Just because you go into knowingness doesn't mean you will suddenly know everything there is to know about a particular thing. The knowingness we are talking about is not just the idea of data or information. Although it is not impossible that from a state of knowingness you can access information and know about things. That does not automatically come without you directing your intention to attract that information to you. The knowingness we are talking about is a familiarity, an intimate familiarity with the nature of existence that allows you to be at peace within yourself about the existence of your life, about your experience of life, that allows you to settle in to a certainty that you are an aspect of all that is, that you are functioning as you need to, and that by applying this knowing point of view to everything that occurs, that manifests in your physical life experience, it will bring you a degree of peace and calm and certainty that you may not have experienced before, or may have only intermittently experienced from time to time in your life. There are many ways we will go about approaching, instilling this idea of knowingness within you. It is really not as complicated as you may think. It is really quite simple, the concept. But it must begin with a foundational acceptance of self, a foundational acceptance of your existence. Many of you, because of your experience of self-imposed limitation, and because of the nature of the limitation that has existed in your physical experience on earth, have actually created a lack of acceptance of your fundamental existence. Although we find, from our point of view, this to be an astonishing creation that we ourselves may not have believed would be possible had we not encountered you, nevertheless, we accept that all that is will experience itself in all the ways that it can, and such profound self-imposed limitation is obviously one of the things all that is needs to be all that it can be. But in that, there is the experience of emerging from that forgetfulness, of emerging from that experience of disconnection, of emerging from that lack of awareness of your fundamental existence. And as you gain more and more understanding of the nature of your own being, you will then be able to relax into that certainty and apply that confidence in every area of your life. So, we will begin by asking you to relax, to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. Go into a relaxed state. Just relax, just enjoy, just be at peace. Don't have to think about what's about to be said. Just muse on it, play with it, let it in. No deep thought for the moment is required. Take another deep breath. And a third deep breath. Become calm, at ease, at peace. No worries, no struggles, no stress, no strife, no obstacles, no problems. These are things that are outside of the reality you are now in. These are the things that do not relate, that do not belong, that are not part of the definition of the reality vibration you are creating now, of the state of being you are manifesting now. This is a primary state, the state of your existence itself. Now, in this state, all you need to focus on is this. All you need to be aware of is this. You exist. That's it. You exist. Just focus on the fact, the absolute fact that you exist. That's all. Nothing more complicated than that. Just feel your existence and appreciate your existence. Feel how good it is to exist, to be alive, to be aware of anything at all. How astonishing it is that you are aware of yourself. That you have an existence. That you are a part of existence itself. That you are an aspect, a reflection of all that is. Just feel your existence. Sit with it. That's all. Not what your existence is about, not why you exist. Just that you do is all that is being asked of you now. Breathe it in. Nothing complicated. Do not think overmuch. Just be aware. I exist. I exist. I exist. I exist. I am existence. I am what is. I am that I am. I need no reason, for I am already here. I need no excuse, for I am already here. I need no rationale, for I am already here. Existence is my natural state. I cannot not exist. Existence only has one quality: to exist, to be. That which is not is something else, and that is its own quality, to not be. But I am that that is. Isness is my being. Isness is my birthright. Isness is my nature. I am. And because I am now, thus then within any creation, any manifestation of the experience called time, be it labeled past or future, I always am. I am in the past. I am in the future. I am in the present. And all is now. I am now. Thus I am in all. All time, all space, because all time, all space is only within me. I am here because there is only here, and I fill it. I am now because there is only now, and I fill it. Because I am now, and I am here. And that is all there is. Isness is my fundamental nature. I am. That is a fact. You know that is a fact. This is the certainty of knowing. All you have to do, anytime you may believe, anytime you may feel that you do not know, all you have to do is stop and remember. What I do know is that I am. This is unquestionable. For if it were not so, there would be no me to realize it. There would be no me to ask the question. There would be no me to be in doubt. There would be no me to be confused. I exist. That is the degree of certainty knowingness provides. That is the state of being knowingness is. It is as simple and profound as the statement, I am. There is no questioning it. There is no doubt about it, even though you may choose to doubt it. You can experience the idea of doubt, but the only way you can do that is by existing. Therefore, the existence is not in question. Ever. Or there would be no question. Ever. allow yourself to feel the absolute, unquestionable certainty that you exist. Say, I am. I am. There is absolute knowing in this statement. It is to this degree that all knowing must be experienced for it to have the same effect in manifesting in your life. So all the things you say you know, all the things you think you know, all the things you would like to know are so, must have the same quality, the same state of being of knowingness as what you are experiencing right now, with the understanding, the simple awareness and recognition that you exist. It all comes down to that. I am. That degree of unquestionability is what is required to be in the state of knowingness. But it's easy to create that by simply always going to the first principle. I exist. I am. There is no question. I am. In that moment, and in this moment, you are in a state of knowing. Feel that certainty. Feel how that degree of absolute certainty feels, because that is what you want to bring to bear to all situations in your life. Whether there is empirical knowledge or understanding about what's going on in your life in terms of the details is not the issue. It is the degree of knowingness that your life is unfolding to your benefit as an expression of your true nature is all that is required for absolute knowingness and for the quality of knowingness to begin to infuse itself into every single act and every single moment and every single thought and feeling and belief in your consciousness. You want to bring knowingness to bear in all aspects of your life. And even when, and even if, you experience the idea of fear, and you experience the idea of doubt, go back at that moment, to this moment, to a state of absolute knowingness. I am. There is no question in that state. There is no doubt in that state. There is only absolute being in that state, in this state, here, now. Rekindle that state. Realign that state within you. I am. 2 words are all that is required to bring you to that state. Because when you realize that you exist, unquestionably, that is what you want to draw from and apply to every other situation and circumstance in your life. Take a deep breath. And feel, I am. Take a deep breath. And feel, I am. It's obvious. Take a deep breath. And say, I am. Relax. Open your eyes when you feel inclined to do so. Continue breathing in a relaxed way. Become more awake, more aware, but stay relaxed. and say again from this state, I am. I am. Now, that state, this state, is all knowingness is. Faith can bring you there as a springboard. But knowingness, shall we say, is the great equalizer. It will supersede every other state immediately when you allow yourself to simply remember, I am. And that you recognize in that state, there is no question about that, all other questions in that moment will dissolve. You will go back to zero, back to now, back to here. And then from there, look at whatever situation you were experiencing before. From this state, look at the situation. You will begin to see it differently. It will change your perspective. And you will see the illusion you were in. States of knowingness allow you to perceive more clearly any state of illusion you may have been under. So anytime you feel fear, doubt, confused, stressed, struggling, striving, at odds, sad, remember, I am. And from that state, without question, look again at the circumstance from an attached, detached point of view. And understand the illusion that was there, that is no longer there. We will, during this encounter, demonstrate a few other ways to lock in the idea of this knowingness. For it is really easy to create, very simple to create. And there are many, many ways to arrive at this state, because all paths lead here. All paths lead here and now. Because there is no when else, there is nowhere else. You can come here quickly, you can come here slowly. We are talking about ideas now that will allow you to experience a quick transition to this state of knowingness, so that you can come from here when you observe anything else you have done. Come from the power of the illusion and look at the illusion of power you were under before. And see it for the illusion it was. Now, let's have 2 volunteers. You. Come up. Stand one there, stand one there. On either side. Facing each other. Now, does anyone have a piece of paper? Please provide one piece of paper. Does anyone have a writing implement? All right. Someone take the piece of paper. At the top of one side of the piece of paper, make a large dot. Do the same on the other side, at the same top. Make a large dot, so that both dots are at the same top end. Have you done this? All right. Place the paper in the channel's hand with the dot facing up. Is the dot up?
Dot is now in your hand. So.
With the dot up. Thank you. Is the dot up?
Yes.
Can the two volunteers see the dots on their respective sides of the paper?
Yes. You guys want to stand up on the...
You may stand differently if it helps you. Face each other, look at the paper. Do you see your respective dot that is facing you?
Yes.
All right. When I ask you, I will point this way first, then that. Please answer the question I will ask. You first, you second. All right? This is a single event. It is one event. But it has completely two different outcomes. Do you see the dot?
Yes. Yes.
When I ask you, tell me which way the dot is turning, left or right.
Left. Right.
Once more, out loud. When I ask you, tell me left or right, which way is the dot turning?
Left. Right.
But it's a single event. All I am doing is moving the paper this way.
Forward.
You both agree that it is forward?
From your point of view. Perspective.
Yes. But from your perspective, it is moving left.
Yes.
And from yours, it is moving right.
Right. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You may sit down. Now, the understanding here is relatively obvious. You can have a single event that actually has two completely different perceptions. Both are true. Both are true, depending on your perspective. So, when, from your reality, you see things moving, we see things moving right. So if you are saying, all I see is this thing moving left, negative, let's just say, what do you need to do to see it moving right or positively? Look at it from our point of view. That's all you need to do. It's that simple. Change your perspective, you change the outcome. Either and both are true. It's just a matter of what you prefer to experience. We prefer to look at the paper from this side. That's all there is to it. And as soon as you decide to look at the paper from the same point of view that we are sharing with you, you will see the same reality we do, even if the event hasn't changed. I am still moving the paper this way. But you will always only see it going to the left if you remain in that perspective. Likewise, if you change your perspective to our point of view, even when the event is the same, you can only see it moving to the right. No other perspective is possible from our point of view. No other effect is possible from our point of view. The only way you can see this dot moving to the left again is to go back to your other perspective. So anytime you see it moving left, that tells you I must be looking at it from that perspective. If I want to see it moving to the right, I have to change my perspective. Is this clear? This is now something you know. It's obvious, isn't it? So obvious you don't even question it, do you? Is that dot going to the left to Bashar? No, it's only going to look like it's going to the right to him. You don't even question it. It's obvious. That is knowingness. You understand the nature of this mechanism. It's clear to you. And as soon as you understand the nature of the mechanism, there is no more doubt. There is no more question. It just becomes completely and utterly obvious. Does it not? Did any doubt at all even enter your mind which way the dot was moving from my perspective? Why? It was obvious which way it was moving from my perspective, wasn't it? When you allow yourself to understand the laws as they exist, then the true mechanism as it exists with full understanding becomes obvious. There is no more question. There is no more doubt. You don't go, whoa, how is this supposed to happen? How is this supposed to work? It just becomes obvious to you. It becomes your nature. It becomes something you no longer question. It just becomes who you are. That is all it becomes. And you can, from that place, you can, from that position in life. What? Fly! Yes. You can fly wherever you wish to go, however you wish to go, because nature unfolds before you. Your nature unfolds before you in an obvious way. An obvious way. Let it be that obvious, because it is. It's as obvious as the fact you exist. It's as obvious as the fact that the dot looks like it's going one way to you and another way to me, even though it's the same event, even though nothing else has changed. It's that obvious. Understanding the four laws, understanding the nature of what it means to be a part of an infinite, all that is creation. Understanding these things, understanding the nature, the structure of these things will make everything as clear to you as these demonstrations were. It becomes that obvious. So that when many times we have heard humans in these interactions going, but Bashar, how do you know that? Because from our perspective, it's as obvious to us as you walking up to a red rose and saying, it's red. It's that obvious. Can't you see? It's simply red. It's that obvious from our perspective. So this whole idea of shifting into a state of knowingness and going beyond faith is eliminating the wondering and allowing yourself to move into a state of obvious recognition so that everything becomes absolutely apparent. And you can speak from that knowing state with respect, with authority on your own life. That's the whole idea. I am no more an authority than anyone, but I speak from a place of self-authorization, from complete conviction, because, not because we have any special secret, but because we come from a state of being in which the universe, the nature of existence is simply obvious to us. That's all. And that's all we are attempting to impart to you. is the obviousness of existence. Just as you know it is obvious you exist, just as you know it is obvious that the dot moves one way to you and another to me, even though the paper only moves one way, just that is that obvious to you, the nature of existence is that obvious to us. That transparent, that apparent, that plain, and can be to you if you come from that same state. This is what knowingness is, and why it moves you beyond belief, beyond faith. So, does that make sense? Are you beginning at this moment to feel that things can be a little more obvious? All right. That's a good beginning. So then, let us review the 4 laws from this point of view. We have already begun with the first. You exist. When you understand this fully, it becomes automatically apparent, again, that there is only now, that time is an illusion, although the experience of it is real when you create it in your consciousness. But what that means is that relative to the concept of time, if you exist now, you always have and you always will. Because existence is the only quality you have in the now. And it's not that you did exist in the past or will exist in the future. You can say those things and experience it that way coming from within the illusion in your consciousness. But from the absolute state of knowingness, you would understand that you are the past. You are the future. That these things are in you. You are not in them. These are concepts within your consciousness. And that they exist here and now with you. Because you exist here and now. And that's all there is. So you are eternal. You are infinite. And please. Now, let us take a moment. Because again, this is something we have experienced from humans in our conversations over and over again. It seems that many of you do not really have a clear grasp on the dictionary definition of the word infinite. Or unconditional. Infinite means infinite. It means anything and everything that you can imagine must, by definition, exist somehow, somewhere, in some aspect of all that is. Anything and everything. Yes, we understand that various things may not be relevant to a local experience as you have created it. Nevertheless, it doesn't discount the fact that you are an aspect of an infinite existence. Infinite. Infinite. So if you exist now, which you obviously do, and if you are, in fact, an expression of an already existing infinite creation, you have, right here and right now, the ability to access that infinity in whatever way serves the idea you are creating yourself to be within the local experience. You have the ability to access anything that is relevant, everything that is relevant to the definition of your life as you have created it in your local experience of existence. But even though you may experience only what appears to be relevant for the theme of the life you have locally created, nevertheless, in that experience, you are still supported by the totality of infinity. In order to have a local experience such as you are having, you have to be supported by an infinite existence. If it wasn't infinite, if it was closed, if it was exclusive to some concept, you couldn't experience your local reality at all. The only way you can actually have a localized experience is if it's supported by an infinity that allows for any experience to be had that you can imagine, somewhere, somehow. And you still, even within your localized experience, have the ability with your imagination to draw upon those other infinite experiences to whatever degree serves your localized one. It's called imagination. It's the doorway, it's the gateway to all of infinity, to be interpreted through your consciousness in whatever way serves you. But the point is that you know that in order to be able to do that, in order to have an imagination that can conjure up things that don't exist in your reality, that aren't immediately experienced in your reality, it means you're tapping into an infinity that supports your ability to have a local experience and still provides you with a window on the rest of infinity. That's a powerful window, more powerful than you have imagined with your imagination. The paradox is that you can actually also curtail how you use your imagination to make it seem as if your imagination is more limited than it is. But the only reason you can do that is because you can imagine it to be so. That's the paradox. And again, let it be obvious, as we have said, you are unconditionally loved so much that you are actually then allowed to think you're not unconditionally loved. That's how loved you are. If you understand the power of that paradox, again, more of the nature of the structure of existence will become apparent to you, obvious to you. And you will awaken to the fact that the only reason you experience the limitations that you do is because you have decided to, for one reason or another. But when you come from a knowing state that you have done that, then it becomes obvious you can do something else. And being aware, just by itself, being aware of the fact that you can do something else is all that is necessary to give you permission to do something else. Because were it not so, existence would be conditional, and it's not. It's unconditional. So learn the definition of unconditional. It's not, yes, it's unconditional except for these conditions. You're the ones supplying the conditions, not existence. Existence is unconditional because it allows you unconditionally to supply conditions if you want. The only way that's possible is if existence itself is unconditional. Because if it wasn't unconditional, it might not allow you to impose conditions. The fact that you can actually impose conditions proves that existence itself is unlimited and unconditional. Let it become obvious. That's the knowing state. Is this making sense to you?